He said, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Now, the word gates here is not talking about literal gates, but it is talking about people. If you don't believe me, remember in the Bible it said, lift up your heads, all ye. Now, anybody with common sense know that gates don't have heads. People have heads. Gates out of the bosha is the symbolic term to use people, because people are the doorways and the gateways of blessings and cursings in your life. That's why you better be careful with some of these fools you talk with. That's why the Bible said, come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord. Says to Peter, upon this rock, what you said, man, I'm going to build this church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. See, you get a little further, I'm going to get you in trouble. You get a little further with God. You get a little mercy with God if you act right with his church. Peter would cuss. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. Peter would cut folk off. How about y'all ain't saying nothing up in here? Peter would leave Jesus and deny Jesus 3 times, but Jesus didn't cut him completely off, because Jesus never clowned in the church. Oh, God, there's some things you can get away with that you can't get away. Oh, y'all ain't saying nothing, but if you do it in church. There was a time where sinners would be like, man, I ain't gonna tell no lies Sunday. There was a time where people, I grew up in Chicago, the guys shoot craps. Yeah. They shoot craps anywhere in front of the stove, in front of your apartment. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You ain't got nothing, nigga. But they wouldn't shoot no craps in front of the church. Y'all ain't saying nothing in here. There was a time where folk would talk about the police, talk about the teacher, talk about this and that, talk about the president, but folks say, I ain't gonna talk about that preacher. Y'all ain't saying nothing up in here. But this generation, we run our mouth about God, the things of God, the people of God. But nevertheless, the church shall survive. Put your hands together and give God a praise. So he said, Peter, because although I know you're not perfect, I know you're not perfect, but I also know you ain't phony. When you can't deal with your imperfections, you become phony. Peter, I know you're not perfect, but you ain't phony. David was a man after God's own heart. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't phony. You can go further with a confessed sin than you can with hidden phoniness with God. So he says, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. He said, and I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth. I need my keys real quick. Whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever thou loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. He said, Peter, I know you're still struggling with some things. I know it's still some cussing in you, although you ain't cussed yet. I know there's still some lying in you, although you ain't done it yet. See, some of us make the pseudo misconception of thinking we deliver because we ain't did it in a long time, but that don't mean nothing, y'all. I know you ain't looked at no girl, but it's still in there. Y'all ain't saying, I ain't talking about Brother Mitchell, I'm talking about everybody in here. I know you ain't looked at no man like you used to, but don't think it ain't in there. I know you're not perfect, but I know you're not phony, and I know what you said about the church. I know what you said about the man of God, and because of this, I will build my church. Peter, and not only that am I going to build this church, I'm going to give you some keys to the church. And whatsoever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. And the reason why I can trust you with my church is because my church shall survive. No matter what the devil does, I know I'm going to be lied on. I know I'm going to be crucified. But Peter, before I go, I got to give you these keys to the kingdom. I give you power. I give you joy. I give you peace. Give God a praise.